Aloha, welcome back. As you can tell from my friend here, we're almost ready for the holidays. He's in his winter attire. I am not. I'm going to fight it out as long as I can. I don't like the cold weather, and I do love the Caribbean. And when I was in the Caribbean, it was really cool. We were going to Kokomo Beach. You could see a whole flamboyance of flamingos out on the river off the highway. And yes, flamboyance is the word for more than one flamingo. When there's a flock of them, it's not called a flock, it's called a flamboyance. Just like when you see a bunch of fish, it's called a school of fish, or a gaggle of geese. So that's something very interesting. Many of you know that the flamingo is probably the most recognizable bird. First of all, they're very tall. They're like twice the size of this guy. They're like 4 feet tall, and they're pink. And they get the pink from eating shrimp. How pink do they get? Depends on how much shrimp they eat. The more pink they are, that means the better diet they're eating. But if they're babies or they're young, you're going to see that most flamingos are actually white or gray. When they get up to a healthier age, and I think it takes them about 2 or 3 years before they could fly, and they get to go out further into the water to get a better diet, the more shrimp they eat, the pinker they get. So you could always tell the healthiest ones by how pink they are. Very interesting fun fact there. The flamingos are in the Caribbean, South America, Africa, and yes, they even make it into some parts of Eurasia, where Europe and Asia meet. And way back in Roman times, like thousands of years ago, they actually used to eat them as a delicacy. Now, I don't think I could do that. They're such beautiful animals, I wouldn't feel right eating it, but I wouldn't mind tasting a flamingo cocktail. And it's from Rita's Tiki Room in Milan. And many of you know that Campari, which is a liqueur from Milan, is popular in the Jungle Bird. I'm not the biggest fan of the Jungle Bird, but I am a huge fan of the Flamingo Milanese. And this is also interesting because it uses cachaça, which is from Brazil. So we have the component of South America meets Milan, and that's how we come up with the Flamingo Milanese, thanks to Rita's Tiki Room. The first thing you should know is, while you can use Rose's lime juice, you're better off making your own. I wouldn't use that lime juice that you get in the supermarket. Just use some fresh lime juice and some simple syrup, and that's the way you can do it. First, we have 1/3 ounce of lime juice, and yes, you could find jiggers from like this one from OXO that does measure into thirds on the other side. 1/3 ounce of lime juice, 1/3 ounce of lime cordial, 1.5 ounces of Campari, ½ ounce of cachaça. Now, cachaça is basically a Brazilian rum. It does have its own category depending on who you ask, but if you're looking for it in the liquor store, always look by the rum. And finally, 2 dashes of absinthe. I have a dropper bottle here, and I know a full dropper is about 2 dashes. And just shake. Once it gets so cold you can't hold it anymore, just get out your strainer. You're supposed to double strain, but this has a strainer built in. Again, another good OXO product. And we could just strain it once. Look at that color. It's a beautiful color. Now it says to garnish with a bamboo leaf. I do not have a bamboo leaf, but I have a bamboo skewer, and I'm just going to use one of these cocktail cherries to keep with the color theme. And let's give it a taste. Cheers. Really a really good drink. It is a little sweet, but it is also a bit bitter. You might want to play around with the measurements, but the lime cordial makes all the difference in the world. I'm not going to try it with that other stuff you get in the supermarket. If you can't make your own, I would just say play around with fresh lime juice and a little bit of simple syrup. Ooh. These are very strong cherries, by the way, because they're packed in moonshine. But what I do like about them is even if you leave them out, they stay nice and crunchy. Oh, they are strong though. They burn. It's tart, it's sweet, and it's got the bitter. If you don't like any of that, you might not like this drink, but this is very different than any other tiki drink or any other drink I've ever had. It's a real winner with me. There you go. Flamingo Milanese from Rita's Tiki Room in Milan, Italy. Till next time, cheers, mahalo, and happy holidays.
Isn't happy hour anytime?